There was a scary moment right here in Times Square overnight. Hundreds running and hiding when they heard a loud bang, thinking it was an active shooter, but really it was a motorcycle that backfired.
So many were enjoying a night out here in the crossroads of the world, Times Square, but suddenly they heard that sound and it caused total panic. This morning, it's a sign of the times. Watch as a typical evening in Times Square turns into panic.
All of a sudden I heard like this kind of muffled pop and I was like, oh, what was that?
That pop, a motorcycle backfiring, but hundreds of people thought they heard gunfire and they run for their lives. The chaos captured at multiple angles on live stream from EarthCam webcam. It happened just before 10 p.m. last night, some taking cover inside stores and restaurants. This image taken inside the Disney store.
North Korea confirmed testing a new type of tactical guided missile yesterday and that leader Kim Jong-un was on site to oversee the launch. Releasing a report and photos of Tuesday's missile launch, Pyongyang state media said 2 tactical guided missiles were fired from the western part of the territory, flew across North Korea, and successfully hit the targeted islets in the East Sea. Kim reportedly said this would be an adequate warning to the ongoing Seoul-Washington joint military exercises. The report called it an intended demonstration of force. The projectiles fired on Tuesday are said to be the same as the ones tested on July 25th. The regime called it a tactical guided weapon back then, but this time the North claims it was a tactical guided missile.
If you talk to the Indian authorities about it, the government, the ruling BJP party, they think they are totally right to be doing what they do because they say that since 1947, Kashmir has had special autonomy, which means that there is some local government there and they can decide on what they want to do. Particularly, they can decide or prevent Indians from buying land or buying houses there. The Indian government says this has got to end. That was one of our election pledges, the famous Article 370, which gives Kashmir this semi-autonomy. That has got to come to an end. So they say we are only doing what we said we were going to do during the election campaign. The election campaign back in May, during which Narendra Modi's party, the BJP, won a landslide. So there is little or no criticism of this move.
Less than 20 kilometres off the coast of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, the Avuz is caught in a maelstrom. It's drilling for oil and gas in an area claimed by both Turkish and Greek Cypriots. The Turkish energy minister has visited the island before assessing operations on board the ship. He was accompanied by ministers from the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus.
We have stated that we are fully behind the rights and interests of our brothers living in the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, and we do not recognize the unlawful authority declared unilaterally by the Greek Cypriot administration.
Just a short distance away, the Turkish Navy was keeping watch. It may have been partly for show, but it underlines how the dispute over these waters could potentially escalate.
Protesters are back in central Tegucigalpa. For years, critics have accused President Juan Orlando Hernandez, referred to as JOH, of being corrupt. Now their accusations are backed by U.S. prosecutors. Court documents filed in the trial against Hernandez's brother Tony for alleged smuggling of cocaine into the U.S. say the Honduran president is linked to drug trafficking. Witnesses have said drug gangs poured $1.5 million into the Honduran president's campaign in 2013. He allegedly used that money to corrupt local officials. The Honduran leader, now in his second term, has denied the accusations, saying they're part of a smear campaign.
Venezuela has reacted angrily to sweeping new sanctions imposed by Washington, which froze in its government assets in the US. The restrictions mark an escalation by the US in its efforts to put pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to step down. Speaking in Peru, US National Security Advisor John Bolton said the US were ready to target any country supporting Maduro's government.
Tool by the United States. We've only used it sparingly in the past half century. But the Maduro regime now joins that exclusive club of rogue states like Cuba, Iran, Syria, and North Korea that are subject to that form of sanctions.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's foreign minister has accused the US of being after his country's wealth.
The Senate decided to call off a vote on Monday to confirm Pedro Pierluisi as governor, while the court decided on his legitimacy. Gabriel Elizondo is joining us from San Juan. So I suppose the court has decided, his appointment is not legitimate. Gabriel, was this expected?
It was really unsure what the court was going to rule, quite frankly, but they gave an overwhelming decision here just within the last 10 to 15 minutes or so here in Puerto Rico at the Supreme Court. It was a 9-0 unanimous decision. In the opinion of the court, which we've been reading briefly since it just came out, they said that his swearing in, as you mentioned, was unconstitutional because he was not sworn in by the Senate. He was only sworn in, or confirmed, I should say, by the House of Representatives here in Puerto Rico. And so the Supreme Court overwhelmingly said that he is not a legitimate governor, and then went so far as to say that he should step down immediately.
The UK's counter-terror chief appears to be pushing back against claims from leading British officials that the Russian president, quote, likely ordered the nerve agent attack in Salisbury last year. Neil Basu has said there simply isn't the evidence to build a criminal case against Vladimir Putin.
Well, it's been over a year and a half since that Novichok attack in Salisbury, and despite Moscow denying any involvement, the Metropolitan Police leading that investigation is still unable to prove that Russia did it.
The whole of the investigation is still a live criminal investigation. In order to get a European arrest warrant, you have to have a case capable of being charged in this country. We haven't got a case capable of being charged. You'd have to prove he was directly involved.
So they're saying there's a strong chance that the Russian President Vladimir Putin directly ordered 2 Russian spies to carry out that poisoning in Salisbury against Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. That's a former Russian military officer and his daughter.
咩？咩電筒嚟？激光電筒。喺邊度買啊？喺邊買？喂，問下你。提升。睇咩話？提升。啊，咩？睇住睇住先啊！嗱，喂，得啦，而家咧，我司儀咧依係攻擊性武器。嗱，唔緊要，你同法官講，好啦，嗱，而家拉你藏有攻擊性武器。